Today, we are cracking open the system from James Clear's game-changing book, Atomic Habits. And trust me, by the time we're done here, you are going to have a step-by-step blueprint for building good habits that actually, finally, stick. Let's dive right in.
You know that feeling, right? It hits especially hard around New Year's. You make these huge resolutions. You're going to stop all your bad habits, you're going to start all the good ones, and this time it's going to be different. And then, a few weeks later, you're pretty much right back where you started. So how do you actually make the habits you want become automatic?
Well, the whole answer really starts with this number, 37.78. Now, I know it seems totally random, but it is the key to understanding the entire philosophy here. It represents the absolutely staggering power of tiny, tiny improvements. So what's the magic behind that number? It's simple, really. If you get just 1% better at something every single day for a year, the compounding effect is so powerful you'll end up nearly 38 times better. But here's the scary part. It works both ways. If you get 1% worse each day, you slide all the way down to basically zero. This is the hidden force behind all of our daily choices.
Think about it like this. Imagine an airplane taking off from New York, headed for LA. If the pilot adjusts the heading by just 3 degrees, that's a tiny, almost unnoticeable shift. That plane won't land in Los Angeles. It'll land somewhere down in Mexico. And our habits are exactly the same. A tiny course correction today can put you in a completely different destination years down the road.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about that 1% difference and why progress feels so slow. Then we'll cover the huge idea of systems over goals. After that, we'll hack the science of the habit loop itself. Then we'll get into the 4 laws for engineering your behavior. And finally, we'll put it all together and build our very first habit.
Okay, first up, let's get real about what progress actually looks like. Because we all think it's supposed to be this nice, straight line going up, but yeah, it almost never is.
The reality is, you first have to go through what James Clear calls the valley of disappointment. This is that super frustrating phase where you're doing the work, you're going to the gym, you're eating better, but you look in the mirror and you just don't see any real results yet. This is the critical moment, because the biggest payoffs from compounding are always delayed. If you understand this, you can find the patience to push through, right when everyone else quits.
And that brings us to maybe the most important mindset shift in the whole book. It's a little counterintuitive, but it is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. James Clear says it perfectly. Forget about goals, focus on systems instead. So what does that mean? Well, a goal is the result you want, like I want to run a marathon. The system is the process that gets you there, your training schedule, your diet, your sleep. The big idea is that if you just focus on making your system better, the results will literally take care of themselves.
And why is that? Well, think about it. Focusing only on goals is full of problems. First off, winners and losers in any field usually have the exact same goals. So the goal itself isn't what makes the difference. Second, when you finally achieve a goal, it's just for a moment. What happens after you cross the finish line? The motivation just evaporates. And finally, goals create this all-or-nothing pressure where you're either a success or a total failure.
So the real key is to shift your focus to your identity. The goal isn't just to write a book, it's to become a writer. It's not about running one marathon, it's about becoming a runner. See the difference? When you focus on the person you want to become, your everyday actions start to line up to reinforce that identity. Every time you lace up your shoes for a run, you're casting a vote for being a runner.
Okay, so we've got the mindset right. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty mechanics. How do habits actually form inside our brains? Turns out it all comes down to a simple 4-step loop that runs on autopilot.
Here's how it works. First, there's a cue, a trigger. Let's say your phone buzzes. That leads to a craving. You get that little itch to know who messaged you. The craving then drives a response. You pick up your phone and check it. And finally, you get a reward. You satisfy that curiosity. Cue, craving, response, reward. That little loop is the hidden engine behind every single habit you have.
So if every single habit follows that same loop, that means we can actually engineer it. We can hijack the process to build the good habits we want and take apart the bad ones we don't. And we do that with the 4 laws of behavior change.
These 4 laws are the levers you can pull to change your behavior. For any habit you want to build, you just ask yourself 4 simple questions. How can I make the cue obvious? How can I make the craving attractive? How can I make the response super easy? And how can I make the reward satisfying? And what's so brilliant about this is that to break a bad habit, you just invert the laws.
It's that simple. Want to stop mindlessly scrolling on your phone? Make the cue invisible. Put your phone in another room. Make the craving unattractive. Remind yourself it's a waste of time. Make the response difficult. Delete the apps. And make the reward unsatisfying. Maybe you have a friend you have to pay $5 to every time you get caught.
Now, to put these laws into practice, we use some really clever tools. For example, there's habit stacking, where you link a new habit to one you already do, like meditating for 1 minute right after you pour your morning coffee. Or there's temptation bundling, where you pair something you need to do with something you want to do, like you only let yourself watch your favorite Netflix show while you're on the treadmill. These are the kinds of tricks that make it all work.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's make this totally real. We're going to see how this entire system comes together with a super practical example. Let's say we want to build a daily workout habit while at the same time breaking our habit of wasting time on social media.
Just look at how this all clicks into place. For the daily workout habit, make it obvious. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Make it attractive. Only listen to your favorite podcast while you work out. Make it easy. Start with the 2-minute rule. Your goal isn't to work out for an hour. It's just to put on your clothes and stretch. Anyone can do that. And make it satisfying. Use a tracker to mark an X for every day you do it, and then your only goal is don't break the chain. Now, for the social media habit, you do the complete opposite. Make it invisible by moving your phone. Make it unattractive by reframing it. Make it difficult by using app blockers, and make it unsatisfying by setting up a penalty with a friend. It's a complete system.
And really, that's the whole message right there. Real lasting success isn't about those huge, once-in-a-lifetime transformations. No, it's the product of our small, daily habits compounding over time into something truly remarkable. It's always about consistency over intensity.
So that's the system. You've got the framework, you've got the tools. The only question left is, what's it going to be? What tiny 1% improvement are you going to make tomorrow? What 2-minute habit will you start that could change absolutely everything?